Hi, in today's video, we're going to be replacing one of these. This is a hose spigot with a frost-free valve on it. We're using the Lazy Man method for this one. This is a Shark Bite end. Actually, it's a Shark Bite brand valve. This project really only applies to people that have a basement, which is what we're in right now, or a crawl space. Either one of those, this process is going to be pretty similar. Unfortunately, if you're one of the guys that has the slab foundation house, uh, this isn't going to apply to you. Yours is a totally different process. I think you actually, most of the time, end up having to tear into a wall. Now, unfortunately, the projects like this, you pretty much always have to turn the water off to the house, which is right here. This inlet line is coming from the road. So if you're not familiar with where your shutoff valve is at, that's going to be a good place to start if you're on city water. If you're on well water, you're probably going to want to aim or guess where your well is at and go to that wall of the house. That's most likely coming through there. For me, I'm going to turn this and just go over here. Oh, that had some pressure to it still. And we're just going to let that drain for a while. All right, we have that off. We have the water to the house off. I'm ready to cut this so I can remove that. Now, just in case my new valve actually goes through here, I'm going to go ahead and leave myself a little bit of room on this copper pipe. If you've never used one of these little cutters, you just snug it down on there and then start twisting. I usually go 1 to 2 rotations around it, and then you twist a little bit tighter. Do another 1 to 2 rotations, a little bit tighter. Got my finger. That didn't tickle. All right, there comes a little bit of water. Ooh, that still had some pressure. There it goes. Now, I don't believe this hose is attached on the outside, so that's just going to slide right out there. Here's the valve from the outside. Oh, I'll just pull it out. Now that we have that valve removed, we're going to come back down to the basement here real quick and measure this funky little angle that they put in. I'm going to go from the outside to the outside, which is right about 3.5 inches. Now, I measured the brick outside, and it's about 3 inches, so that's going to work perfect. All we're going to do is move it up 1 brick hole and drill in and make our new hole. And this will move a little bit back and forth, and that PEX pipe that we're working with is a little bit flexible. So they'll line up, even if our hole's not, if we end up with one here or here, we can still make it work. So we've got her plugged in, we've got power to our drill. Oh yeah, she's working. Now, right here's our old hole, and we could try to bore that out and put the new valve in, but I think in doing so, I'm going to have to grind away a bunch of that wood that was there. And again, it's not going to line up as good as if I just go right up here. So I'm going to attempt to get us started right here. Right after you've cleared it, you want to do this a couple times. And actually make sure she's clear. Hopefully our new valve will slide right in now. Oh, that's beautiful. So the angle of our valve is off a little bit here. I drilled a little crooked and down and up, but we want that valve to be angled slightly down. So I'm going to run this in and try to angle our whole hole down just a little bit. Now that we've got our hole drilled, bored out here to where it seems to fit stuff. Sorry, got distracted by the dirt here. And we've got all this open room because we're outside. I'm going to hook this up and wipe the end of it. And we're going to just push and it goes in. Now I can thread this through. And now we're ready to mark our holes where we're going to put our little Tapcon screws to hold that to the wall. We're going to have to take the end of this off here. The end of that just slides off. It's a square thing inside, so it's easy enough to put back on. Okay, I'm trying to go back and forth there to make sure I'm going to be in the right spot. Now I can pull this up out of the way and drill in there a little deeper. All I'm doing here is checking to see how deep I need to go. Which the spacing of this going into one of these mortar routes, however you want to say that, is taken up about that much at the end of the screw. So if I come down here, I'm almost to depth. I just need to go a little deeper, about another 1/8 of an inch or so, and that one will be in good enough. Now, as long as I measured those correctly at the beginning there, this will go in. Oh yeah, that looks like we've got it lined up here. All right, if you're using a drill, I would suggest turning that down a little bit on your torque settings. I'm going to go real soft with it because I don't want to accidentally drive that in there and break out the mortar. With our longer little extension here, we can go ahead and drive these in the rest of the way. It looks like it needs just a little bit more torque. Okay, that is solid on there. Ooh, crap, I just stripped out the mortar. It's still solid, so I didn't totally destroy it, but that's why I was trying to be careful. All right, we can put this back here in the basement, and this is the point of no return. Right now, I could go turn the water back on. That's turned off, so I could still have water in the house. But as soon as I cut this off, that's a done deal, and we're in it till we finish it. We're going to use a little pipe cutter again. Same process as last time, but hopefully I don't catch my finger in it this time. So that did not feel good there. Oh, there we go. All right, that can come out of here. Okay, now we've got our all cut. We're going to use a little piece of this. This is emery cloth. It's basically sandpaper. It just has a different backing. You can use sandpaper for it too. I just happen to have some of this left. So I'm just going to do this. Give it a little cleanup here on the end. So I want to make sure our fitting gets a good bite on it. I even go in the end of it just a little bit there. Make sure there didn't get a big booger in it. This is always the fun part right here. trying to measure it out and get it right. I'm going to go here to the end of this copper pipe. And you see the double pieces of this? This copper pipe is supposed to sit down here at the end of that. All right, hopefully I got that in the right spot. Line this back up here. That looks like it's going to work. I'm going to go on the copper first. There we go. That's sunk in good. I've actually given us just a hair too much on this. Looks like I need to snip just a little bit of that off and fight it into place. Okay, I'm going to wrestle this in. Now these different style push-to-connects here have these little guys. It's just a little lock tab. And then jam that on there. You just go around the little black piece there. I guess that helps seal it up. All right, I'm going to go crack my water on and we'll see if this leaks. Oh. Well, I guess that leaked. We did something bad there, didn't we? Our catastrophic error has been found. See that is not long enough. So somehow, even though I had them lined up, 3 times, still managed to cut myself this little tiny bit short. Well, it's the next day. I could not remove these yet last night. I tried and tried. When this is in here, you're supposed to be able to use this little tool to put right here, and you clip that around it, push down, and it should release it. I could not get it to press down far enough while it was installed in the wall. So I had to go back out, take the valve back out. This is our piece that's too short. We'll go make a new cut and leave a little extra room this time. Again, these are flexible a little bit. So my idea next time, I'm going to leave myself about that much extra room and then just bend it up so it goes up out of the way and we don't have this issue again. If you were wondering, I wasn't without water all night. I had a 1/2-inch cap, shark bite style, that would go on our line here. So these are a lifesaver if you're doing your own plumbing. Highly recommend buying one of them while you're doing it, because every time you mess with plumbing, there's always a leak. All right, so this is take 2. Water is currently on, and we're not leaking. And then you're going to want to check back there too. Make sure that that's not leaking. And it's still dry. I just ran some of the water on the outside. But you'll see this here. I shoved that back through the old hole because I didn't close it up last night. I'll walk you through that in a second. We're back outside. We can pull this out. We're done with that. Here's the proof that it works. For this hole down here, I'm going to be using this furnace cement. According to it, it's non-freezing and it won't crack or drag or crack or sag. So we had a little bit of this left over from when the furnace guys replaced that back when I bought the house. And then at some point, I'm going to get a tube of silicone and I'll just try to fill in around the edges of this with some silicone. You don't need to worry so much about the silicone right now. because the piping in there is tight enough. You're not going to have rodents and stuff crawling through it. You might get an extra spider or two to crawl through there. It's actually hard enough here. I can shove a plug of it in. And we'll just clean that up a little bit. It is going to get on the brick there, so if you're a perfectionist, that might bug you. But just kind of smooth in our mortar line. And that should harden up nice there. Again, I was able to shove in quite a bit, so I don't need to go down to the basement now to redo it. If you don't have any of this or want to go buy it, because I don't know how much it costs. I'm guessing it's probably $20 or $30 for a can of that. If you just fill that hole in with silicone, that'll work too. If you end up with an extra one, not everyone's going to have to do that. But that's it for me. Hope you guys enjoyed. We'll see you next time.